Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fit, Fine, and Flowing with Sasha Janae. Hey, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I know you're used to me walking in and out, but the cheat code to me, like me keeping it together for the most part, because I forget myself and I kind of do a little slouch thing. But the cheat code to that is me just like starting sitting down. So we're gonna try this for a couple weeks. If it works, let me know. If it doesn't work, I'll start walking back in. But when I get to like walk in, everything kind of shifts a little bit. And then so when I sit down, I got to do extra fixes anyways. So, ladies, welcome back to another episode. Today is going to be today's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do mindset shift. I'm going to let you ladies in my business a little bit, let you know what's been going on. I am going to, so this episode is, this episode is brought to you by I Am Activewear. Let me tell you, I love the owner and founder of I Am Activewear so much. Like sometimes you just know when God smiles on you because he sends certain people into your space. And Miss Jules, you are certainly 100% one of them. I am so appreciative and grateful to God for sending you my way. Because, of course, I love you down, like 100%, right? But this body and this gear, okay, clock it, okay? Like it's everything. This is the I Am Activewear jumpsuit. Again, I don't want to stand up because I don't want anything to shift because I feel perfect right now. But you got, this is a full jumpsuit, okay? And you'll see it. You'll see it in an Instagram post. I'll tag. I always have trouble wearing full jumpsuits because I always have like that gap in the back because my behind and my waist and all that stuff like that. But this actually fits everywhere it needs to fit. She loves me. She's hugging me. She's caressing me, okay? So again, this episode is brought to you by I Am Activewear. Shout out to Miss Jules. Now, I'm doing the thing where I keep taking deep breaths, but I'm not exhaling, so I'm going to do my best. Usually I have Bloom here, and I actually did not drink Bloom today, and I also drank my energy drink on the way here. So it's gone, guys. I do have some fancy Waikiki water, Waikakawaya, Waiakia water, and it's glass. So I decided like, hey, let's go ahead and let's zhuzh it up. Let's zhuzh up the episode with some glass water, okay? So much has happened. Now, episode 24, let me give y'all some like background of my life, okay? I'm going to start with talking about episode 24. Episode 24 was purely mindset and like a little foundational education. It was 20 minutes. I don't know if you noticed that. I was in all black, and whenever I have that cap on, it doesn't matter what type of hat it is. Whenever I have the hat on, I need you to know like your girl is not put together. Your girl is not 100%, okay? So recently, and this is getting very personal with you, but you know what, ladies, like we're in here now, okay? So I want to say a shout out to my family. Keep my family in your prayers. My grandmother, I call her Nana, okay? My Nana she's in her 90s. And it's just about that time for her to, for the angels to come and take her, as my baby girl says. So getting that news was devastating because life has its cycles and stuff like that. But you see everybody else go through certain losses that happen just as a part of life, but it just never really feels like it's going to happen to you. And when it does, it is, I just cannot name the grief that comes with knowing, because she's still here, thank God, right? But I can't really name the emotion that comes with the grief of knowing that it's almost time for the sunset to set on one of your loved ones. And my heart goes out to my mom. My heart goes out to her brothers and sisters, and of course my brother, because Nana is just, that's our gal. You know what I'm saying? That's our gal. And yeah. So I feel like you have to let these things go, but it doesn't really change. Like you have to let these things happen, but it doesn't really change the grief that comes along with it. So I have been in peaks and valleys of sadness, and just kind of sad for everybody, trying to understand and trying to be gracious about life happening around me, but also just like, sheesh, you know? So when I recorded episode 24, that the news was freshly, you know, hit, I ended up having to cut everybody's summer a little short. So I went on this world tour, and I went to Tampa to get the kids, and Orlando, and then came home to record. There was just a lot going on. Then Thursday, I'm doing the baby's hair, the girl's hair. And in my mind, I'm like, damn, I cannot believe I'm doing my daughter's hair so they can go say their last goodbyes to my Nana. And it's just been wild. And in the midst of that, and in the midst of life happening, because like nothing stops. You can need a break as bad as you ever need it, and like nothing stops. Everything's still going. We got the first event coming up. We got, I'm still at work, you know what I'm saying, full time. I got family in town, like, so I am having to, okay, take this out of the filing cabinet. Okay, file it back really quick. Close the door. And then there was moments where I'm just like boohoo crying myself to sleep. You know, luckily my love was there to be there for me. Luckily my best friends have been like a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear. You know what I'm saying? And just the kids are so strong and my family's so strong. So if you notice a difference with me, that's what's going on. Just keep my family in your prayers. And yeah, just keep my family in your prayers. So that's why last week's episode was so short. That's why, you know, you can probably sense the energy coming across the screen. Okay. Now, I think I feel a little bit more whole about the situation because my mom and the kids are with her, and they are spending some time with her, spending some quality time with her. You know, I don't want to call it saying their goodbyes, but for lack of better words, and my heart is happy and at peace that my mom is there with her mommy, and that my babies are there, you know, in representation of me. And I think that is really wonderful. So I'm better for now. Okay. In the midst of that, I feel like, I don't know if I introduce this as peaks and valleys or if I just keep talking. Oh my God. So, let's just say, okay, let's do this. Peaks. Okay. Peaks and valleys. So my peak of the last week was, I had family in town. I love you. Shout out to you. You're amazing. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for getting my nails done. Love you. Okay. And then my other peak, my main peak, is the 11/11 R&B experience did take place. It was as amazing as I anticipated it. I was shaking in my boots. Like, are you kidding me? All these people are coming here. And so I'm seeing videos and I'm seeing footage. Everybody's making their videos. Shout out to Keita. Shout out to Thomas. Like, y'all are so lit for the videos that you're making of the spin experience. I was so in my head the day of that I was like, oh my God, don't look at anybody. What if they're like, I wasn't thinking negative things, but I was so inside of like a shell. Everything that I'm seeing in the videos was so beautiful. The mingling that was happening, the Miss Jules taking the reins and doing MC work, Miss Sherry helping the ladies fix their bikes properly, you know, Miss Karen taking pictures, Thomas taking pictures, Pat taking pictures. When I tell you, y'all, the community is lit, okay? Fit, Fine, and Flowing is outside. We are out there, and look, I got goosebumps. Like, I couldn't be more happy. And the ride, like, from changing the freaking playlist every 2 seconds, hitting the choreography, being scared not to work the girls hard enough, and also being scared to work them too hard, okay? And it was so beautiful. I remember like looking up a couple times, like, cause I'm in my zone, cause I'm spinning with y'all. Like, I'm here with y'all. I'm in my zone. So I remember looking up a couple times, and everybody's like, okay, they're doing the one move sway, and it looks professional. Like, bitch, am I a professional out here in these streets? So that was, my cup runneth over. Like, I don't even know what to tell y'all. My cup runneth over. Everybody looks so fine in their pink and black. I know Miss Jules sold a couple items. My best friends were in there. Like, I just could not be happier with the turnout. And I promise you, part next. I don't want to call it part 2, but the next event is in the works. So Friday, me and my girl Sam, shout out to I am Samantha Rosetta. That is my content creation mentor. That's like literally my mentor in this content creation world, right? We have a meeting together that's already scheduled. So please expect more content. Please expect more events to come, okay, in the community. We might be looking at a virtual event, and we're definitely looking at rolling out a health coaching program, okay? Rolling out a health coaching program. My producer and I have been speaking about this, and he's like, okay, are you ready? Okay, are you ready? Okay, are you ready? The team makes a difference, y'all. The team that you have behind you makes a difference. My producer, my photographer, my editors, my support system that came along with them as a beautiful package deal. Y'all, it makes a huge difference. So if you're in this space and you're looking to grow, you got to lock in with a solid team that believes in you, a solid team that wants the best for you just to want the best for you. Like, oh my God, okay? So that's the peak. Let me think. Yeah, I guess that's the peak. Also, I had there was so much going on. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So so like I said, family in town. So we had did something that we've been waiting to do forever. So Sandbox VR, which is like the virtual reality game, and you go to a place and da 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 da. We did that. I mean, had a time. Absolutely, highly recommend. We'll do it again. We did in Orlando. It was just such a good time. I screamed the entire time. It was so much fun. Then my girls were in town, so after we did spin, we went out and we just had a good time. We just had such a great time. Oh, also the photo shoot. So if you know me, you should know me by now. I am a Bubby girl. I'm affiliated with Bubby TV. That is actually how I was introduced to my producer, because man, they're growing at an astronomical rate. I love it. They have opened up their network to me, and it has really helped in me growing, right? Because they're a powerhouse. Like, how can I not grow being attached to them? Anyways, we had a photo shoot. I am so my sexy lies in my comedy, and my sexy lies in let me just think, I'm not a traditional sexy, okay? I'm an awkward sexy. And so when it comes to a photo shoot and just being pretty, it's kind of it's not hard for me. It's just I've accepted the type of woman I am, you know what I'm saying? I still get men, you know what I'm saying? I bag my men off comedy, and I'm okay with that, you know what I'm saying? They also say I have a pretty smile, but whatever. Anyways, photo shoot, amazing. The girls' energy was so great. People who be like, oh, I'm not friends with girls because X, Y, Z, you guys are missing out. You're missing out. I pray that God sends you a circle of women that just love you all the way down, because all the women that are in my life right now, nothing but love, nothing but encouragement. They make me feel better than the men do. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it bad. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to MJ the Prez for putting everything together, for the ideas that they put into it, for all the girls that took pictures and looked so pretty. So we went ahead and dropped them on Instagram, and it was a good little response. So there's just we're on cloud 9, but there's this is just the beginning. There's so much further to go. Okay. Now, along with the peak comes the valley. So we'll talk about the valley. Of course, always in the back of my mind is my grandmother and stuff like that. She's fine right now, so we're not even going to put that in there. I think the peak is the level of productivity, following through, accountability, planning, being on time. I'm saying these are peaks because if you're not on point with them, it can really, really, really make you fumble the ball. So I guess they're not necessarily peaks, but they're they can turn into peaks. Valleys. They can turn into valleys if you're not on point about that type of stuff. So I guess basically overall, I would say that the valley would be how much work goes into all this. So Instagram sees, dang, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening, sold out event, this, that, and the third. They don't see the bills that have to be paid behind this. They don't see, like, they don't see the details in everything that is rolling out and everything that's happening and the planning that goes into it and the late nights that go into it and the re-records that are going into it. Like, they don't see that. And I'm tired. Okay, so there is the personal, emotional stuff happening, you know, with my family. There is the wonderful feeling of having family surround you, but then also keeping that family entertained and taken care of while they're here. There is work, you know, the same 40 hours plus that you got to put in. And I done messed around and made myself valuable over there. So this has turned into an event session. I messed around and made myself valuable over there. So like now I got to be extra present, right? All the socializing that happens, which I have no problem with. I am a social person. But you have to be very careful, very balanced, and very calculated because I exhausted myself. I exhausted myself to the point where I didn't know if I was going to throw up, curse somebody out, or faint. I was just that tired. So I had to be intentional about yesterday. And I literally ran one errand, came home, and laid down and went to sleep. I woke up around 8:30. I ate some food. I went back to sleep and I slept until 6:30 this morning, which wasn't a part of the plan. But anyways, I needed sleep. So the value would be how sometimes I think overwhelming isn't necessarily a negative situation, like a negative trait or side of this business, because everything is peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be very intentional about getting yourself there. So now that I have ranted and raved for however long I have, we're going to get into today's episode. Also, ladies, remember, we do peaks and valleys, not so I could just tell you all my business, but because we're searching for the gratitude. Okay, so not every single weekend we're going to be launching a sold out community event. So there's going to be weekends that are more calm. And so I have to intentionally be searching out what I'm grateful for, the great things that are happening around me. Okay, so peaks and valleys, there's always a balance. Everything isn't always going to be high highs and everything isn't always going to be low lows. And when we have a community, we can share that with each other. Get it up off your chest. You can give a praise report. You can inspire somebody. You can inspire somebody not only that something great can happen to them too, but also if you held on, then they can hold on too in the face of a valley. Okay. So now getting into episode 25. Can you believe it's episode 25? I celebrated episode 20. And then like now I'm like, damn, maybe it should have just been 25 instead of 20. But anyways, we're here. Nonetheless, okay, we're here. Also, I got a manicure and the guy didn't understand me. I wanted a French tip manicure, but then we ended up here. I'm okay with this though. I think it's classy, it's simple, it's very clean. Very, very clean. And also this will probably last longer because you can't chip the white paint. Anyways, whew, excuse me. So, episode 25, the weight you really need to lose. So I feel like we have been, when you think of a fitness podcast, right? Because we're fitness, lifestyle, journey. If you're new here, welcome. If you're an existing watcher, hey, babe, hey, we got 90 subscribers now, okay? But if you are new here, this is feminine wellness. This is fitness journey. This is lifestyle. This is my lived experience, okay? So welcome in. I want you to come in. I want you to feel seen. I want to embrace you. I want to love you. And I want to do this thing together because everything is way better when you have somebody by your side, okay? Mwah. So I think that when we think of health and fitness and like a fitness journey, we're automatically like thinking of like, okay, what exercises do I need to do to lose weight? Okay, what do I need to eat to lose weight? Okay, how often do I need to work out to lose weight? Okay, cardio versus weights, BBL, GLP-1s, natural. We are just so wrapped up in all this information, but we know what we need to do. Physically, like we know what actions we need to take. So sometimes I feel like we're beating a dead horse by saying, okay, you need to do a split, you need to do upper body, you need to do lower body. When you do lower body, you need to do glutes and hams and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to take a step back from there because at the end of the day, I do love to be like super vulnerable and transparent with y'all. I am not a personal trainer yet. Okay. I am a certified health coach. Health coaching is more so about mindset and having somebody that is available to hold your hand and guide you through the process, as opposed to a personal trainer who is going to walk your behind to the weights and say, drop down and get your eagle on. No, I'm just playing. But you see the difference, okay? So I feel like the biggest transformation in your health journey is not in the gym. It's in your mind. And I am a mindset junkie. This is the reason why I think it was so much easier or gratifying for me to complete my health coaching certification over my personal training certification, okay? Now, I feel like every time like somebody new clicks onto the podcast, we're immediately talking about body weight, and I just want to kind of switch that just a little bit, okay? So last week we talked about, in episode 24, we talked about the foundations of health. So basically like sleep, protein, hydration, movement, stress management, all the things we know that we should be doing. And that was framed in the space of no matter which journey and direction you decide to take when you're on this health and wellness journey. BBL, Lipo360, GLP-1 are all natural, okay? You can do whatever you want, wherever life takes you, whatever you choose, okay? I said it on the last episode and I am not ashamed to say it again. I wish I was brave enough to do an operation. I just don't. I had 2 C-sections. I do not like pain. I have a bunch of tattoos and I hate, once I sit down to get a tattoo, I feel like I'm riding up the roller coaster and I can't get off. It's just ridiculous. So I wish I was brave enough to do that. So we are within this segment, this episode 24 and this episode here, we're reframing our mindset from judging the women that decide to take whatever journey they're taking. If somebody who has an operation wants to judge somebody who's doing it natural, we're getting rid of that stinking thinking. Somebody who's doing it natural, judging somebody with an operation or GLP-1s, no, we're getting rid of that stinking thinking, because all of those are all parts of the journey. It's just not your journey. So all of those different imperfect circumstances, like I said, yesterday rest day, today busy day, okay, has to be a rest day. Now, don't get me wrong, I may actually go and take a walk because my mental health demands it, okay? If something shifts between now and later where I do not get to take that walk, I will have already made the healthiest choices that I can make for the day. I'm in a deficit and I'm drinking my water, okay? Also, I am gonna get a full night's rest tonight. I'm being very intentional about this. So when we say be proactive, you gotta sit down with somebody, like me, a health coach, right? Sit down with somebody, with yourself. What can you do to become more proactive when it comes to a healthy fitness lifestyle? Do not go off the rocker and go into doing all the letters of the alphabet. All you gotta worry about, why am I talking like that? Alphabet. Worry about A, B, and C first. Okay, figuratively speaking, worry about A, B, and C first. The rest of the alphabet will take care of itself. You start small, you compound small, small ends up big, okay? Now, habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. I kind of never understood this. I mean, I do in a sense of setting goals, but I'm just always like, okay, begin with the end in mind. Like, what do I want to happen? And then I think of the end and I'm like, whoa, that seems really far-fetched. Like, am I actually going to be able to reach that end, right? Why do you really want to lose weight? So they're not talking about, Stephen, I keep saying Sean. Stephen wasn't talking about like the action, because we already know what we need to do. He was talking about, what's the reason? If you have an idea, what's the reason behind it? What's your why? Because that why is going to actually pick you up and carry you along the finish line every single time you stop, okay? So why do you really want to lose weight? Why do you really want to recomp your body? Why do you really want to become healthier and all, right? Keep asking why until you can get beyond the number on the scale, until you could get beyond the fitting the size 4 jeans again, which is out of style, by the way, okay? Now, here's some examples for you. Maybe you want energy. Maybe it's confidence. I know for me, both of those check my boxes. You want to play with your grandchildren. That one does not check my box. And that one has about another 10 years to check my box, okay? You want to lower your blood pressure. I don't have issues with blood pressure, but that is a fantastic reason to want to begin a healthy lifestyle journey. Maybe you don't like taking pharmaceuticals, but you have to because habits have led you to have to take them. Does that make sense? I want freedom. I do feel like bad lifestyle choices when it comes to health does put you in a space where you're not able to be 100% free. But I think that has a lot to do with confidence, because the more confident I am, the more free I feel to do X, Y, and Z. It's really just when you have the end in mind, it's not about the number at the end or the way that you look in the mirror at the end. It's about internally what's going to transform for you. And I think that's very important. We have to stop chasing smaller bodies and start building a bigger life. What do I mean by that? Stop chasing, first of all, it's not about skinny, nor has it ever been about skinny, because a lot of times, if you really dig back to when skinny was in style, skinny wasn't healthy, okay? It's about feeling your best self. It's about becoming your version of her. It's about becoming your highest version of yourself, okay? For me personally, I do get frustrated with the number on the scale, because I would very much like to be the girl I was back when, who was I? The girl I was back before I had Mercy. That number on the scale was really nice, but that girl ain't had no booty. That girl, first of all, that girl didn't have no booty muscle. I got butt muscles. I can make butt cheeks jump. Like, that's a big deal to me. You know what I'm saying? That girl, she just wasn't me. She wasn't who I am as a woman. And so when I'm looking at the scale and I'm disappointed that I'm not that girl, I have to remember what I would sacrifice from today to be that girl. Like, what I would have to give up from who I am today to be that girl in the past. But we're not looking back. We're not going backwards. We're moving forward, okay? That's why we want to stop focusing on making a smaller body. We want to focus on making a healthier body. And everything will fall into place from there, okay? Now, habit number 3, because I don't want to give you guys like too much to chew off. Just a couple simple habits and principles that can just stack on each other and become bigger and bigger, right? Put first things first. Now, this is where I'm really putting on my coaching hat, okay? If I looked at your calendar, how important is your health? First of all, do you keep a calendar? I'm going to be transparent with you. This is something I'm learning, okay? I am the type of girl to go, every time I see a calendar, I buy a calendar book planner, I got it in my phone, all this stuff. I might use it for a day or two and then I leave it on the side. That is something that I had to change for myself. That was a mindset shift that had to take place for me to become more productive and to get to this point right now, okay? Now, when you have, okay, I'm a mom. Let me just do this, okay? I'm a mom. In a couple weeks, probably a week and a half, my kids will be home. My schedule is completely going to change from what it has been over the summer, because my kids have been gone over the summer. So being that my kids have been gone over the summer, I have been able to commit to another gym and take classes. I've been able to come and go as I please when it comes to taking classes and working out. I've been able to eat very, very like linear, healthy meal prep meals because I don't have kids asking me for all type of stuff. There's not a lot of junk in my house because the kids eat the junk. The kids eat the snacks, right? So just to give you a taste, right? So now when the kids come home, my day is, I have to implement now, I have to be super intentional about 4:30 a.m. wake up, 2.5 mile walk, come home, get everybody up for school, dressed, all the good stuff, work 7 to 3, get off at 3 o'clock, go pick up the baby because Gabby's in cheer again, okay? Spend an hour with the baby, maybe trying to figure out what's for dinner, maybe trying to start dinner, go pick up Gabrielle. After I pick up Gabrielle, then I come home, finish dinner, get everybody showered. Okay, y'all eat dinner, I'm going to work out. Then I go work out. But in the midst of all that, I have to find the time to plan out my episodes. I have to make sure that I make time to come to the studio and record. I have to make sure I'm intentional about my content posting schedule, creating schedule, okay? I have a brand deal with I Am Activewear. We're going to be growing our brand deals. There's so much that goes into the day. If I am not intentional about scheduling in my health, it's not just about scheduling in the workout. It's about scheduling in, okay, Sundays I meal prep. Maybe I have a big family, so Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I meal prep. You know what I'm saying? Quiet time. Okay, I know for a fact that on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I'm going to get my full 8 hours of sleep. Okay, the rest of the week isn't going to be. You have to get to the point to where you are willing to itemize out your whole entire day until it becomes a solid routine. Even what you're consuming, write it out, because a lot of people lie to themselves. A lot of people are like, oh, I barely eat anything, or oh, I eat so healthy. But if you sat down and you wrote down everything that you ate, you'll be like, whoa, wait a second. I didn't know I was wasting so many calories on those drinks. Today, on the way over here, I'm still in a calorie deficit, but 7 pieces of candy equals 100 calories. So I'm in a deficit, but I think I'm 100 short, so I can't eat anything else tonight to remain in my deficit. And it's so easy to eat a bag of candy that probably has 21 candies, but I'm only supposed to eat 7, which is really unfair. And why do big companies do that? You feel me? Anyways, it's that important. So put first things first. At the beginning of your week, whatever day you call the beginning of your week, sit down and plan it all out. This is what I do. I write XYZ and then put a box next to it, and I leave it open to that page. Okay, 4:30 a.m. walk, get the kids up, work, hour for podcasts, hour for content. If you start to run your life like that, not only will your health and wellness journey fall into place, but whatever else you got in that nugget of yours is going to start to have room to come to fruition. Listen to my words. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but everything else is going to start to fall into place, okay? Now, the thing is, you may not be a priority to yourself. You just might not realize it. And that's something that I had to realize as well. And I think that this last time that I had family in town, it became so apparent that I'm starting to become a priority to myself. Not that I wasn't a priority to them, not that I'm not a priority to my family, but that I wasn't a priority to myself. But then the difference in kind of the dynamic, like, hey, listen, instead of laying in bed all day, I gotta go work out. Instead of laying in bed all day, I gotta go do this. Hey, I can't cook dinner tonight because that really, really showed. And I felt like, I felt proud of myself for being so stuck in my routine that I did not get sidetracked in any direction. That was such a huge deal to me. So once you start to put first things first, you will start to realize these little wins and start to realize your confidence is shifting, your productivity is shifting, you're actually starting to stick to your eating plan, you're actually starting to stick to your movement plan. And oh my God, this dress is fitting me different. It's not too small, but I definitely look so much better in it than I did 2 months ago. You start to realize those little things popping up, and it's going to motivate you to keep going forward and to keep making it happen. You have to be willing, you have to be unwilling to break the cycle that you put in motion. Okay. Now, I feel like mindset very much creates habits. If you can't get it up here, the physical part of things is not going to last. Okay. The habits create the consistency, and the consistency creates the transformation. So of course we know what to do with our physical body, but do we have the willpower? Are we willing to do the things that we maybe don't want to do or are unfamiliar to our habits to change? Like, is it a big enough deal for us to want to change? Okay. And I think that I want to shout out to my girl. I feel like excuses make me sick to my stomach. I say that looking in the mirror because, like, I used to be the queen of making excuses. I used to be the queen of procrastination. Used to. This is not the woman that I am anymore, right? But somebody very close to me would find every reason, know exactly what to do, but she'll find every reason under the sun not to do it. And I mean, when I say every reason, and the reasons be sounding so good too, until recently, one day, she just made up her mind. Her story is to be continued because something shifted in her mindset, and she's on go, right? And we're all going to keep her in our thoughts and prayers that she just like continues to go, because I'm so proud every time. And I'm not even saying, hey, did you do such and such today? No, no, no. She's sending me her Apple Watch stats. She's sending me like, okay, I did XYZ today. And this is like, I am being introduced to a new version of my best friend. Huge deal. But something in her mindset had to shift in order for her to start, and it has to continue to stay in shift and to stay in gear in order for her to continue on. Okay, so I hope that was clear enough. I hope that you guys are getting something out of this mindset, because like I'm telling you, these habits are going to continue to shift. Even the girls that showed up to the community event. Some of my girls haven't been to the gym in a very long time, but it's the willpower to get up and go to something like that. Okay. Y'all paid money to go there. You got up, you showed up on time, you dressed cute, you were super prepared. Whatever mindset shift that took place that got you into that class and got you through that class, hold on to it. Journal about it. Figure out why did I do that and not this? If you need somebody to hold you accountable and it's easier for you to start this journey with somebody, by all means, grab them. That's what the community is there for. And I think that is such a huge deal, to show up for yourself on such a large scale. It was nothing short of amazing that every single woman in there was there, and the guys too, okay? Now, I think that when it comes to coming outside of our comfort zone, you nail it as well. Some people aren't comfortable working out in gyms and working out in front of people. A lot of people never took a spin class in their entire life. That's a huge deal. That's a huge mindset shift. The dopamine that comes from not only the physical part of finishing that class, but the part of your mind that recognizes you stepped outside of your comfort zone, you tried something new and you succeeded about it, and you met new friends, and you might have a new gym. Like, that's a huge, huge deal. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into, excuse me, I always do this every single episode. I'd be so excited. I probably just like the fluid went down the wrong pipe or whatever. I know I said we were going to get like real deep, no pun intended, right? But I want to talk to you about stress, because I've been so stressed out. I've been like positive and negative stressed out this past week. So super duper important when it comes to mindset that we talk about the place that stress loves to show up, the vagina. Okay. Stress really affects your hormones, your sleep, your hydration, and your immune function. I will definitely stand on business when it comes to that, because every time I am on a stretch where I'm not getting enough rest and I'm stressed out, well, not getting enough rest stresses me out. Okay. Sorry. Can I just be a normal human? Are you kidding me? Anyways, so I always get sick when I start to not have enough sleep. That's why I have to be very intentional about days like yesterday, where I came home from work and literally slept probably from like 4:30 p.m. all the way until 6:30 a.m. the next day. Even though I woke up for like an hour, ate dinner, watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and went back to sleep. I have to be intentional, or else I get sick. I'll get like tonsillitis, or I'll get like flu-like symptoms, and it's not a cold and it's not the flu. It's really crazy, because your immune system is reacting to the stress and the sleeplessness of your body. Okay. The changes can also influence your vaginal health and comfort. Things can get a little different down there when you're stressed. Okay. For me personally, I'm letting y'all all the way in my soup kitchen. For me personally, when I'm super stressed, my vagina does not, she wants to conserve all her fluids for herself. What's a cute way to say I just don't get wet like I need to be? I don't know. There's no cute way to say that. I don't even want to say that on camera because damn. But it happens. It's a part of womanhood. It's a part of life. It's a part of having a vagina. I'm a grown woman, right? I'm 37 years old. So I have to like go really hard drinking water and drinking like liquid hydration in order to feel that normal wetness. And so stress really sucks. Like stress is terrible. Like stress makes your whole entire body work overtime. It could change your discharge, which doesn't mean infection. It just means imbalance. It could change the odor. Again, it might not mean infection. It might mean imbalance, but maybe definitely check with your clinician, your doctor, if you feel like it's too far off, okay? Healthy really doesn't mean scent free because our bodies we all have a pH, not just a pH in our vagina, but we all have a pH throughout our entire body. So depending on what we're eating, our activity level, even if we're traveling somewhere different and our bodies is not used to the air, it could affect our entire body's pH, which will absolutely affect your vaginal pH, okay? Now, we've talked about this so much, but now that everybody's so into skincare and all this extra stuff, right? I know that a lot of the girlies are washing with the, what is it called? The foreign wash that it's like Medicube and it helps with the dark spots everywhere, right? So I think a lot of women are using that like on their bikini line and bikini area because if you shave, sometimes you get bumps. We want to be careful using that around the coochie, okay? We want to make sure not to get that in the coochie. That is not the only soap that you use. You go ahead and use your Salt XO. You go ahead and use your good soap on the coochie to get the coochie clean. The Medicube around, okay? Please be careful. Please be aware of her. Scented soaps. This antibacterial Dove does not belong on the coochie, okay? Irish Spring does not belong on the coochie. These extravagant Victoria's Secret, Bath Body Works and Beyond soaps smell delicioso. They don't belong on your coochie. Your coochie does not like that. Your coochie will get thrown off, okay? This is why we depend on natural feminine wellness brands like Salt XO that was made for and by a woman, not only a woman, but a Black woman in STEM biologist that went ahead and said, hey, listen, let me go ahead and create something for the girls, okay? These are the types we need to invest in ourselves and start to invest in these types of soaps to wash ourselves and take care of ourselves down there. Also, when you have a brand like Salt XO, you got the turmeric wash. The turmeric wash is actually formulated to help lighten up those dark spots down there as well. So you do not have to worry about using two separate soaps, which I hate that concept, okay? I'm off my soapbox. That was funny. That was cute. I'm like funny and I don't even try to be. But also just remember, and I've gone through this in episodes, but I feel like just because this is summer, it's always good to go through it because we have new watchers, we have existing watchers. When you're washing, you're never putting soap in the vaginal canal. You're always washing the vulva gently with warm water and cleanser that is specifically made for the vagina, okay? Now, you definitely want to call your doctor if you have persisting itching, burning, unusual discharge, the strong fishy odor, the pelvic pain, the reoccurring infections. Ladies, it's not taboo anymore. This is natural because if we cannot talk about this amongst ourselves, we are going to continue to go undiagnosed. We're going to continue to have all this cervical cancer and uterine cancer and malfunction, sexual dysfunction, because we keep our mouth shut. We can't keep our mouth shut about this stuff anymore. If you have pain, talk to somebody about it. If you are off, talk to somebody about it, okay? And you women out there who are in the business of shaming other women, stop. Stop it, okay? Taking care of your vaginal health is not embarrassing. It's literally part of taking care of your entire self. You cannot, the more that you work out and lock into your health and fitness, the more that you have to pay attention to what's going on down there because of we're shaking and moving, okay? We're shaking and moving And you have to be very aware of what's going on with your vagina while you're in this health and wellness arena, okay? Now, you know I've been talking for a long time when the light comes on twice. So I have loosely been trying to incorporate a jam of the week type of vibe, song of the week, whatever. I'm gonna figure out what to call it. I'm gonna figure out how to work it in. But I love music. Why do I love music? Because it gets me through my workouts. It gets me through life. When I don't know what to say, music speaks, okay? So my song of the week, honestly, I feel like, damn, I forgot I was on camera. I feel like Okay by Lotto is my shit. It's sexy. It's sultry. It's dedicated to you know who. No. I really love that song. I honestly really, I was feeling the whole album. I know a lot of girls are like not really on the album or whatever. But I'm a lover girl. I will forever be a lover girl. And if my girl is that deep in love and she's still hustling and she's still taking care of her family, like, what's y'all problem? So yes, the song Okay with like a couple Y's, that's my song. That's my jam of the week, okay? Now, I want to leave you ladies with a task. And we're gonna start doing this more often, right? We're gonna be really, really locked in the community. I wanna start leaving you all with a task. The task of episode 25 is, what would the healthiest version of you choose today? Okay? And if you wanna write that on a sticky note and put it on your mirror, if you wanna write it in your planner, if you wanna set yourself a reminder in your phone, every single day this week, you can journal it. You can just meditate on it. You can leave it in the comments on one of the posts or in the community. What would the healthiest version of you choose today? And if you start to make this question a part of your daily routine, you go ahead and watch things change. So for the next, wow, that was crazy. So for the next 7 days, every single day, what would the healthiest version of me choose? And I really want some feedback, ladies. Let's go ahead and continue to grow the community. Let's go ahead and continue to inspire our sisters. Your feedback that you post to the community is going to help save a woman from making an unhealthy choice. And that's literally what we're here for. So I really, really want to thank y'all for coming. I want to thank you for listening to all my words, okay? We're in health coaching. Well, I'm in health coaching mode. We are in mindset shift mode, because the thing is like I say, fitness is the anchor, right? If we could get our mindset on point with the anchor, which is fitness, everything's going to fall into place. Everything's going to fall into place. So I just want to say shout out to I Am Activewear. Miss Jules, you're amazing. Shout out to Jaleesa and Salt XO. Shout out to Bloom. I didn't drink you today, but that's okay. We're coming. Guys, things are kicking into high gear. Please be expecting a flyer to drop for our next spin experience. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great week.